Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I am doing a bit of a mixed media layout, and this was a complete disaster at the beginning. This is the second piece of paper I worked on. The first one ended up with half a bottle of pink Heidi Shine all over it. So I've just brought out my Kuritake Gansai Tambi watercolours. And I'm adding in the reds and the pinks and a little bit of the orange, and I'm doing a wet in wet technique where you put the water onto the paper and then add in your watercolour onto the wet areas, so it kind of all blends and bleeds together. I'm adding some extra water just to get it to drip and run, and I have pre-gessoed this piece of paper. I don't actually like using watercolour on gessoed paper, but I don't have any large enough sheets of watercolour cardstock at the minute. So the colour was quite intense, so I've dabbed quite a bit of it off, and I've mixed in some of the white paint with the pink to kind of tone it down a bit. I have a cut file which is from the Cricut paper lace cartridge, and I originally cut out a background paper from the Like Forever May Live Out Loud kit, which is a fancy free paper, I think, and I decided that I was actually going to use this piece of mixed media paper that I'm making now, rather than use this as the entire background. So I end up recutting the file, and the actual butterfly panel, I back some of the I back some of the butterflies with the paper instead, with the patterned paper, and the colours matching perfectly. There you can see on the back I've cut out some of the butterflies and just backed them so that there's a floral pattern on the other side that just peeks through. So I pop that up on foam tape, and then I'm going to glue the whole panel down with wet glue so that it sticks down really well, because it did warp quite a lot, this paper. And I had multiple disasters with making this paper. I got watercolour everywhere, I got Heidi Shine everywhere, and I nearly just threw the whole lot in the bin. But I'm glad I persevered, because it turned out to be a really lovely layout, and the mixed media paper is so shimmery and pretty. It's got Heidi Shine in gold, blush, pink, and I think I might have put some raspberry on there as well. So I'm going to start matting my photo, which is of my mother-in-law, and I'm just using up scraps from the Live Out Loud kit. I think this is the only video I make using this kit, but I will do a layout share, because I did do quite a few pages from it. And I've already cut quite a few pieces of cardstock to size. So I've just used the reverse of the black polka dot paper, which is a pink floral. And I think that's an Amy Tangerine piece of paper. And then I've used a couple of pieces of cardstock that one of them came in the kit, the darker pink, I think it's like a salmon pink, and then the lighter pink piece came from the previous kit. so I'm just using that up, and I'm just using up one of those little gold glitter frames that I cut on the silhouette. So I'm just deciding where I want to put this picture, and I had thought of actually reprinting it to be smaller, but then decide I actually quite like it that size, and I'm just popping it up onto foam tape just to add a little bit of height so that it gives some dimension. So I'm just adding a little Heidi swap file tab, and I've had to pull in lots of embellishments from my stash because I had really virtually nothing left of the original kit apart from papers. And this is some cotton adhesive ribbon or adhesive tape, and the little flowers on it are absolute perfect colour match to the papers. And this is I've added some Simple Stories washi tape with like a soft pink candy stripe, some Heidi swap tags, and some wood veneer from the Honey I'm Home collection, I think they are. I won those in a challenge on the Like Forever Facebook page. I won some papers, wooden embellishments, and some puffy stickers, and they're absolutely gorgeous, and this is the first time I've used them. So just adding some Maggie Holmes brads, but I've cut the metal legs off the back because there was too much dimension to actually get them through the paper. So I just used my Tim Holtz scissors just to cut those off, and I've used some glossy accents to stick them down. I've also added a couple of sort of die cut pieces. The little banner and the yellow banner and the yellow heart are just bits of mixed media paper scraps that I had lying about. I've just die cut them, and I wanted to bring a little bit of yellow into this layout because there is yellow in the paper that I've used to back the butterflies. So I'm kind of pulling colours from that background paper. Although you see very little of it, the little accents are really pretty. So this is another piece of wood veneer from the Honey I'm Home collection. I'm sure that's what it's called. I shall check and put details in the description. And that will be my title piece. And I'm adding some glittery yellow thread, and this is a really pretty thread, and it was something I've had in my stash for a very long time. And normally threads that have got like a glittery metallic feel to them usually are really hard to deal with, but this, I think it was quite expensive when I bought it, and it's much softer. It's a much nicer texture than the normal metallic threads. I'm just popping that underneath that brad, and I've popped some under the other cluster. So I decided more is more, so I'm going to add some buttons now, and I pulled out some yellow buttons, and I've also pulled out some pink buttons. I don't end up using the pink ones, but I will keep trying to get them onto the layout, but they're not quite the right, although there is that shade of pink in the background. It doesn't seem to quite work So I'll add these and then decide that there's not enough buttons on here, so I need to add more. And this is the second disaster. I dropped the bottle of buttons. I'm adding some pink sequins now, and I'll add one to each of the butterflies just to emphasize the individual butterflies. And I'm sorry, I did lose some footage for this video. Like I say, it was an absolute disaster from start to finish. So there are bits that got missed out, particularly at the beginning, when I was doing the mixed media and the cutting file. And also it ended up being a really long video. So I tried to reduce it as much as I could. So I'm adding some more of that thread, and I'm going to just pop that at the top with where the tag is. And again, I'm going to try with the pink buttons. I'm just having a look, see if I've got any last little bits of ephemera that I can add. And I go back, as you can see, there are buttons everywhere. That's when I dropped the buttons. So I'm just having another rummage. I'm trying to find the tiny buttons. This turns out to be a really girly, shimmery, pretty layout. So I'm glad I kept going and didn't chuck it in the bin. As you see, I popped a little floral piece of ephemera on the bottom right of the photograph. That is from Cocoa Vanilla Free Spirit collection, and it's just an odd one that I had left. And that is the layout finished. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and give a thumbs up if you liked it, and thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.